Welcome back to the Shuffle Dating Podcast. I'm Andy, your host, co-founder of Shuffle, and with me today is Kay, a former Shuffle participant, who is going to tell us about her experience. Kay, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kay. I live here and work in Seattle. Yeah, I'm excited to be here and have this chat with you.
Thank you so much. So you live in Seattle. How did you hear about Shuffle?
I heard about it on NPR. The local KUOW station ran a special or a little segment on Shuffle Dating. And I'm like, well, if it's on NPR, it must be legit. So I looked it up online, and that's how I found out about Shuffle Dating.
Okay, so you signed up. Did you go to multiple events or just one?
Two. So I went to one. This was last fall. First time was a little rough, but the second time I had a lot of fun, and it worked out. I met someone.
Awesome. What do you mean the first time was a little rough? I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, it was a little rough because I didn't know what to expect, and I probably wasn't prepared to answer the questions. Of course, we had the prompts, but everyone asked what I would like to, what do I do for fun? And I didn't have a really good answer for that. I'm 50-ish and recently started dating after being divorced. And so this was kind of new to me, the speed dating thing. Yeah, I didn't have a good answer for that. What do you do for fun? I'm a single parent and my life revolves around work and my daughter. But I realized after the fact that doesn't maybe not the best way to meet someone for dating. So when I came back the second time, I had a better answer. And there's lots of things I like to do for fun. I like to eat good food. I like to travel. I like to explore the Northwest. So I was just better prepared for that real easy question.
That's so interesting that it's like an interview process almost, right? Where one question can kind of make or break an interaction. And it's awesome that you were like self-aware to, reflect on that. And of course, you're an awesome person. Just in talking for 5 minutes before the show, like, I want to learn more about your lives. I'm sure that that question, right, didn't necessarily reflect on you as a person, but it's a 10-minute interaction. And
yeah, I hadn't really thought about it, and I was prepared to go with the prompts. But with that first Shuffle Dating event, not everyone wanted to know some more basic information, not just the prompts. So the second time I came back a little better prepared. But I will share it with you the first time, though, what I thought was really interesting. Most of the men I talked to had done other events, Shuffle Dating events, so they were a little better prepared. So they kind of knew how the flow went and what to expect. So I was asking for advice, and it was almost universal. One, everybody's absolute loathing of dating apps, and that's why they were going to Shuffle Dating. They're like, you go through hours and hours online on the dating apps, and all you want is that face-to-face interaction. And with Shuffle Dating, you get that instantly at face-to-face meeting. So I thought that was interesting. Pretty much everyone said that. And then the second thing is that they commented on how they met other guys that were also dating, and they had formed friendships. And when I went, I realized there were women there that were also doing a Shuffle Dating event because everyone was looking at their phone. So it was pretty easy to pick out who we were. But I didn't really know if I should talk to them or not. And all the guys were like, yeah, we like had beers afterwards and we were comparing notes. And so the second time when I went back, I like purposely introduced myself to the other women. And I thought that was really cool. We were all going through the same thing at our age. Most of us are starting over, and what's it like to date? So that was better the second time around too.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful to hear. We're going to make that part of, we've heard this from other people, and we're going to make that part of the process more explicitly in the future. We're going to add like a friend button and a list of the other folks of your same gender as well. So you can kind of match as friends with random people you bumped into at the event and kind of just be more explicit about the event is for connecting in real life, and it's okay to date or just make friends and whatever. So thank you. That's awesome to hear that that people are doing that.
Well, and it just made it part of the whole social event too. It wasn't
mm,
just about the speed dating part, it was also meeting, other people that were kind of starting over again and also dating and trying to figure this whole thing out. And I think that was
sure.
a very pleasant surprise that I was not expecting.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about your dating journey in general? So were you personally using the apps as well?
No, because I was scared to death of the app. So that's what was so intriguing when I heard this on NPR, because I'd definitely been thinking, enough time had passed since, my marriage had ended that I was thinking about dating, but I was scared of the dating apps and I didn't really know what else to do. I wasn't going to go out to bars. That's not my scene. Kind of past that. Yeah, so that's why I was interested in shuffle dating. So this is going to be crazy. So that first shuffle dating event was like my very first attempt at dating. And what's crazy is that I went back about a month later for the second one. So I didn't have any matches the first time, partly because I didn't have my elevator speech put together. And so I went back the second time and I got a match with this great guy, Paul, and we're still dating. And both of us can't believe that it was that easy, that we could just show up at this random coffee shop in South Lake Union. I think both of us were expecting we might meet someone, but we didn't think we would meet someone that we would really connect with. Yeah, and I certainly wasn't expecting that because I literally had just started dating again. And so it's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy and awesome to hear.
Yeah.
And it's not unique. I mean, like, I think in February we had 3 people that like explicitly emailed us saying like, I'm in a relationship now, like take me off the list for the future events. And we're so happy to hear it. And we don't know anything about these stories. So you're like the first person we're actually like talking to about this. So are you able to tell us more about like what you connected about or how the process was following up after you got that match or anything else you want to share about the journey?
I mean, the event actually could have been a total bust because it turned out that there were several cancellations. So all the women showed up. And so I think there were like 5 women. And I think, and not as many guys. Now I can't even remember the details, but there were 2 or 3 guys canceled. So the women, we all had several breaks in between, which was fine because then we got to talk to each other, which that was cool. But maybe that wasn't what we were all coming for, was to meet guys. But one of the men there, Paul, we connected because we had both lived in Hawaii. He had grown up there, and I had actually moved from Hawaii to Seattle. So I'd been there more recently. So that we talked about what we remembered and what we loved about Hawaii. And then that led into travel that we've done, and we both like to travel. He's a parent as well, and that was something I was looking for. I think that was something that he appreciated in me as well because I'm raising my daughter. So those were kind of the things that we connected with. So filled out, hit the button for a match. I actually matched with, I put down match with 2 guys. I got the email the next day that said I matched with Paul. And I was like, yay. But fully prepared to not match at all, right? Because this was just my second time, and really I was just doing it to get out of my comfort zone and to try talking with people that I have never met before. Just doing shuffle dating was like a success for me, whether it ended up in a match or not. It was just getting myself out there and doing something I wasn't comfortable with. But I will admit that getting the email that said I had a match was pretty awesome. Okay, so yeah, I sent a text later that day and just said, hey, I'm Kay. We matched we met at Shuffle Dating and it looks like we matched, do you want to get together? And so we set up a meeting. We went for a walk around Green Lake. In the afternoon, we met at a coffee shop there and then went for a walk around the lake. And that was great because we had about an hour while we did that walk to talk, but we weren't necessarily staring at each other across from a table the whole time. Yeah. And it talked about our families, talked about our marriages. Both of us are divorced. So we had some similarities there about how our marriages didn't work out. So I think we both had empathy there for each other. Talked a little bit about, why we went to Shuffle Dating and what we were hoping for to meet someone and what we were thinking about for dating. The whole time I was thinking about all the reasons why he probably wouldn't want to see me again. But then at the end of the walk, he said, "Hey, I'd like to get together with you again. Let's go out to dinner." And I was thrilled. And so we went to dinner, and yeah, that was the start of it.
Beautiful. Wow. Thank you for sharing, Kay. That's so awesome. I have so many questions. Can I ask about, I guess it sounds like you had a really healthy mindset about having kind of low expectations going in. Like, I'm just going to this event for practice.
Yeah, and it's low cost, low risk, right?
Yeah. So I guess it sounds like you did this naturally, but I think some people going to the events, they're pretty distraught when they like don't get matches, or they just go to one and they're like, this isn't for me. And we try to tell people, you know, like, it's kind of random. You might have to go to a few to like find anyone you connect with.
There's not that many people there, right? And I mean, it's nice because you do get 7 minutes or 10 minutes to chat with someone, but that's not a lot of time. And it's a pretty small pool. I mean, I think that's why I was so surprised that I met someone that I clicked with on the second time.
Mm-hmm. What else would you maybe recommend for yourself going in, knowing what you do know now? Prepare this elevator speech. Like, it's good to not have expectations and be pleasantly surprised when you match. Yes, there's also this thing about some folks tell us like they want the men to reach out to them. I think it's really cool that you texted Paul afterwards. Yeah, anything else you want to share about like how you would tell people to approach this?
Yeah, I think maybe low expectations is great. I mean, when I went into it, was not necessarily expecting a match, although I thought it would be great if I did. And when I got that email, I was certainly thrilled. I was like, yes, someone likes me. But I did go into it really just hoping that, I mean, if anything, I would get one match and I would get invited out to dinner and have a conversation with another adult that wasn't work related or school, like, you know, related to my daughter. And that was going to be a win for me. So that was my expectations. And I did not expect it on the first or the second try. I think it would have been fun. If I was going to go a third time, I told myself I was going to bring a wing woman because I think it would have been way more fun to go with a friend. And even if that person wasn't necessarily serious about dating, just to kind of go through the experience with me and maybe give me some coaching and advice along the way. So that's what I would have done if I hadn't met Paul and came back for a third time.
That's a good idea. I think we do have people that come either both participating or even just like to sit in the corner and read a book and like people watch with a friend because these venues are public.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea too. You get some maybe coaching on like my body language. Yeah. No, that's a great idea.
Anything else you'd like to share, or things maybe Shuffle could do to improve, or other thoughts you have about the whole experience? It sounds like it was kind of perfect for you, I guess, but
no, that's why I reached out to Shuffle, because I literally could not believe it. And Paul couldn't either. I mean, we both tell each other all the time that we can't believe that we met someone that we really like and that we're still seeing each other. Now it's been 4.5 months. Yeah, a Shuffle dating event. So I've told my friends about it because it's so easy. It's casual. It's I mean, it's low key. Maybe not relaxing, but it's low key. I mean, the first one I went to was at a bar. The second one was a coffee shop. I think the coffee shop was probably more my vibe. So maybe that would be something for people to think about, whether they're more of a coffee shop sort of person or more of a bar sort of person. But I don't know that the venue was make or break for me. So it was fine either way. I mean, the first one I remember, it was in Ballard, and parking is terrible for those people that live in Seattle. Ballard's not easy to park. And that was kind of a nice icebreaker because we all compared our parking stories. So, I mean, I guess that was kind of a nice, you know, unplanned sort of icebreaker for all of us.
Yeah, Seattle is tough in general. Like, we had an event at Zeitgeist near, I think, Chinatown.
Oh, I know,
like Stadium.
In Pioneer Town, yeah. Or, no. Pioneer Square, right?
Pioneer Square, yeah. So game day, which coincides with some of our events, creates some hectic parking stories also.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, I think that's enough for me.
Okay, great. Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
Just like Shuffle dating. It was easy.
We try to make things easy that's the idea is efficiency and ease and happiness.
Excellent.